Alright folks, listen up. I'm about to lay out a globalist conspiracy so evil, so diabolical that once you hear it, your blood is gonna boil. I'm talking about how the big banks, the financial terrorists on Wall Street, are making a killing off this Ukrainian war. They're profiteering off the death and destruction, and they're using the money they earn to stab the Chinese Communist Party right in the back. Here's how the globalist suicidal attack on China is going down. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, patriots of the world, welcome back to the show. I'm Peter Jones, and today we're diving deep into the seedy underbelly of global politics, the 2023 Ukrainian War. How we'll destroy 11 Jinping and his henchmen. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Now, folks, you know I'm not one to shy away from exposing the truth, no matter how ugly it is. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on the nefarious BlackRock company, the puppet masters behind the wallets of the US president and senators. That's right, this financial leviathan manages a mind-boggling $20 trillion worldwide. But, like a vampire, BlackRock prefers to stay out of the media spotlight, pulling strings, buying politicians, and profiting off of the 2023 Ukrainian war. You see, friends, they've been making a killing off a huge surge in wheat prices triggered by the bombing of Ukrainian wheat silos. How's that for blood money? And it gets worse, patriots. The big bankers of Wall Street, the likes of Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, have been exploiting sanction loopholes to profit from trades in Russian corporate debt since the invasion of Ukraine in 2023. These greedy fat cats are filling their pockets with the spoils of war while innocent people suffer. Now, here's where things get really twisted, my friends. It's time for the banks to wash their hands of the 2023 Ukrainian war. You see, China has been waiting in the wings, ready to exploit the damage Russia has taken over the last 2 years. And that's where Henry Kissinger comes in. That's right, the man wants to strengthen ties with the Russians to apply pressure to China, just like he did in the 1970s when he arranged meetings with Mao to apply pressure to the Soviet Union. But what about the US, you asked? Well, let me tell you, they want to end the Ukrainian war too. They've even warned Volodymyr Zelensky about it. But you know what they say, war tends to become more fierce as it comes to an end because both sides want to take the high ground at the negotiation table. And so, Ukraine will push harder, even if it means sacrificing more men. Just look at what happened to their elite unit, trained by NATO, armed with NATO weapons, German tanks, and American armored vehicles. In their first mission, they lost more than 50% of their troops. Reckless, I tell you. Folks, this is why the United States government is going to perform suicide attacks on Chinese investors to destroy the Chinese Communist Party's economy. Let me tell you, this is one of the most important topics in geopolitics today. As I said, the US does not want to continue this war. The banks have made enough money from the war, and pushing the war further will allow China to exploit the opportunity. Weaken Russia means weaken Putin and strengthen Chinese influence in Central Asia, Manchuria, and Russia itself. Now, with trillions of dollars earned, it's time to beat the crap out of the Chinese communists. But first, we start from here, our home. For years, China money has been pouring into the United States, especially into expensive real estate. The Chicans have been buying up luxury mansions and commercial buildings like crazy, especially in cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York. The average age of these Chinese investors is around 38 years old, showing that a lot of this money is coming from family sources, likely linked to the Communist Party elite. Why are they dumping so much money into US real estate? Because the Chican economy is going down the toilet. They have high debts, economic downturn, devalued yuan, and a volatile stock market. So these Chican cronies use US real estate as a piggy bank, a place to stash their money where it's safe. And you know who benefited from all this China money for years? Wall Street! The big banks made fat profits from selling overpriced properties to Chinese investors. And US real estate markets like California were propped up by this China money, helping the bubble stay inflated for longer. But now, the United States government is planning to crash the party and take back what's theirs. That's right, folks, they're gonna perform financial suicide attacks to nuke the Chicans. Here's how it's going down. First, the US government allowed the real estate market crash to happen. Demand collapsed during the pandemic, especially for commercial properties. Vacancy rates in San Francisco, for example, shot up 600%. This wiped out billions from Chinese investors who bought at the peak. Second, recent bans on foreign home ownership in the US and Canada means the Chicans can't sell their properties to recoup losses. They're stuck. This drain of capital back to China will hurt. And third, while Chinese investors are losing their shirts, Wall Street banks are raking in fat profits from the Ukraine war. The government can use that wealth to prop up the real estate market again and rebuild, but the Chinese investors will be left holding the bag. Their investments will be worthless. So you have a perfect storm. Chinese investors losing most of their U.S. real estate wealth due to the crash, unable to sell due to new restrictions, while U.S. banks make out like bandits from the Ukrainian war. The CCP slush funds parked in America will take a major hit. And just like what happened to Japanese investors in the 1980s, when they lost billions buying the Empire State Building, Chinese capitalist pigs are about to get wrecked. Faced with huge capital outflows and losses, the CCP economy will take a big blow to its delicate, fragile little tummy. So there you have it, folks, my Peter Jones style, profanity-laced breakdown of how the U.S. government is planning financial suicide attacks on Chinese investors to damage the Chicom economy. Now I need a whiskey, some tangy barbecue chips, and my pistol to keep the lizard people away while I nap. Stay woke out there, folks. The globalists are everywhere. Hoorah!